welcome to the postseason edition of the Chris Hatcher Show. I'm your host, Kevin Blackwell, and of course each week I'm joined by the head Bulldog himself, Chris Hatcher, as we wrap up the 2024 campaign and also look at Samford's 2025 early signing class. Well, we filmed a great show for you last week, covering Samford's final game against Western Carolina. Unfortunately, technology problems prevented that show from being released. So, Coach, we don't need to rehash all that, but I would love for you to summarize your comments, summarize your thoughts on that final game and the 2024 season.
Well, that was the best show we had ever done at that point. But, it was, as far as the record goes, it's not to the standard that, we're accustomed to at Samford. And we understand that as a football program and a football team. But I really was proud of our team, the character that we showed throughout the course of the season with the highs and lows each and every week. We showed up and we played hard. We did the very best we could do to win. We made a lot of mistakes. But, the last game of the year, you're playing one of the top teams in the league in Western Carolina. They're coming in with a chance to be conference champions, a playoff spot on the line. We had a very unfortunate set of circumstances at the end of the half. Instead of, possibly going in down a touchdown due to a pick six and then a blocked field goal return for a touchdown, we find ourselves down 23 at the half. And, how the season had gone, last game of the year, our guys could have tanked it. And then, boy, we came out, we scored 21 quick ones. We're down by 2. Unfortunately, we fell a little short and got beat by 5. But again, there's no consolation in getting beat, but it just shows the character of the Samford Bulldogs when you're able to do that on the last game of the season and you hadn't had much success leading up to it. So really proud of the team. We said goodbye to 47 seniors. That day. We appreciate the crowds that we had, the support we had all year. But now, our attention, I say, turns to recruiting for next year's roster. It's been looking towards next year's roster for quite some time. But here yesterday, we were able to sign a good amount of players that we feel like can really help us get our program back to where we expect it to be each and every year.
Yeah, and as you mentioned on Wednesday, Samford announces their 2025 early signing period recruiting class, which includes 14 student athletes, 10 on offense, 4 on defense. Coach, before we break down some of these individual players in individual positions, just your overall thoughts about this early signing class.
Well, I was really pleased with it. This is the earliest the signing period has ever been in the history of college football. And a lot of these guys, had to come during the summer, visit with us during the season on unofficial visits. And we signed some good players. We always want to have the core of our team to be developed through the high school ranks. And then you fill in, some guys in the transfer portal. But we've over the past few years, we've been a little bit heavier on the portal side. This year we hope to get back to be a little heavier on the high school side. So all in all, we felt like it was a good class. We pretty much stayed within our region: Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, and Mississippi. So it was so it was good to see a group sign with us. But we're far from being over. We have another signing period in February, and then we're actively trying to recruit some transfers that can join us at the midterm to be able to go through spring practice with us, which is very important to developing the core of your team.
For sure. Well, let's begin by talking about the defensive players that we signed. 3 defensive linemen and a cornerback. Kelton Crisp, 6'2", 225 defensive end linebacker out of Tennessee. Dylan Henderson, 5'10", 170 cornerback out of Atlanta, Georgia. And a local guy, Romello Cooper, Chelsea High School product here from the Birmingham area, and transfer J.D. Methvin, our only community college player in the early signing period. Coach, let's talk about that local guy, Romello Cooper from Chelsea, an athletic guy with size. He's got tremendous quickness. I think he has a real potential for really causing quarterbacks issues coming off the edge.
Yeah, we're excited. You know, he runs track. He's a tremendous athlete. We feel like, you know, all those guys are really good fits for what we do. You know, one thing, we were primarily a three-man front under Coach Boone, and then when Coach Braithwaite got here, we moved to a four-man front, and we were a little bit, our depth chart wasn't set up to have those lengthy, fast defensive ends. So that was a big priority for us. I feel like we got a few of them in there that can come in and be able to rush the passer, which we rely on so heavily.
Yeah, and of course one of those guys is that community college product, J.D. Methvin, who was named preseason second-team All-American. Looks like a guy that can clog up the middle and cause problems.
Yeah, well, again, you know, it goes back to, you know, the high school guys. You know, we got to get those guys up to speed with the college game, and then you got to find a few four-year transfers, some junior college transfers that have some experience at the collegiate level, and we're really glad that he chose to sign with us yesterday as well.
Very good. On offense, wide receiver position was also a point of emphasis in this class and includes Nicholas Bookman, 5'9" receiver out of Swanee, Georgia, and Bryce Whitley, a 5'10" receiver out of Macon, your hometown, and another local player, Torrey Ward, product of Helena High School here in the Birmingham area. Coach Torrey is another guy who's a big target, a 6'3", 190 guy with explosive play potential. Seems to fit well for the Hatch tag.
Well, we hope so. Yeah, he's a big receiver, a great basketball player, and you know we're excited about his explosive. Had a good camp season for us. And then, you know, Bookman and Whitley are more inside receivers, but they're versatile enough they could pretty much play anywhere, and that's a heavy need due to graduation. So all those guys really excite us, and hopefully they can go make some plays like previous wide receiver cores we've had.
Well, another intriguing player to me is Cannon Pigg, the 6'4", 235 tight end out of the Florence area. He's playing for a state championship on Friday, by the way, with his school. He's a guy who has a lot of speed as a tight end, had a lot of big catches down the field. Pretty exciting opportunity here to find ways for him to get the ball in the offense.
Well, that's important. Finding tight ends, they're hard. I mean, that's a hard position to recruit because of just the sheer lack of numbers. But he's probably the highest ranked player that we signed. You know, and I mean, he has some family that goes to Samford, which helped out a good bit. Fortunately, he got hurt early in the year, so he's been out. Tremendous basketball player, but if you look at the rankings and the stars, you know, he was a highly sought after player, but it came down to the Samford community feeling like it was a really good fit for him, and so you know, all the players we signed are good players, or we wouldn't have signed them. But I tell you that he was a big get for our football program.
Well, another emphasis in this class is our offensive line, signing 3 offensive linemen, including Benjamin Darnell, a 6'4", 265 offensive lineman from the Chattanooga area. Parker Peacock, a 6'4", 290 offensive lineman from Dover, Florida. And also Will Turner, the 4th, 6'3", 270 out of Gainesville, Georgia. A tremendous high school program there in Georgia. Coach, Benjamin Darnell is a guy that's also intriguing to me. He played as a high-impact tight end, which really ought to bode well for our offensive lineman who really needs good footwork, good agility, be able to get off the line quickly.
Yep, he you know, he's playing for state championship as well up in Tennessee. But yeah, all those guys you know, bring different skills to what we're looking for. Really, probably we took the biggest hit at the offensive line position this year. So these guys are going to be counted on coming into play. Ben, you know, he's a big guy, probably could play tight end, but early on we got on him as a potential offensive lineman. He was good with that, and we think, you know, he'd go in there and be a tackle because, boy, you tell you what, that's a hard position to find good players at, and we think we got a steal with him as well.
Absolutely. Well, finally, Coach, we signed 2 running backs, Tristan Williams, 5'8", 180, out of a tremendous high school program here in Alabama, the Central Phoenix City, and Cam Bland, 5'11", 178. Pound running back out of Swanee, Georgia, at Lambert High School, and sign a quarterback this time with Brady Stober, 6 foot, 185 guy out of Hickory High School in North Carolina. I was intrigued by him, Coach. What a tremendous resume he's got for over 9,000 yards in high school. Looks to be a tremendous athlete.
Well, I tell you, go back to the running backs. Cam is a tremendous basketball player as well, great athlete. And we had to battle hard there at the end to get him, and we're excited about him. Tristan, actually, we saw him play in the state championship game last season, and he caught our eye, and we got on him. And of course, unfortunately for him, they got beat for the state championship last night by Thompson. But both of those guys are tremendous winners. And then Brady, you know, he's a guy that we found during camp. Got him to come over here to see Samford, and was able to take an official visit during the summer, and just really fell in love with him as a person, and a tremendous skill set at the quarterback position of what we look for in our quarterbacks. And you know, he was a state champion quarterback last year. They continue to do good. He's got hopefully another chance to win, but he's a winner as well. And if you look at that class, there's a lot of guys that are used to winning, and that's the type of culture that we want to bring guys in that know how to do that to help our team be more successful as well.
Yeah, well, obviously, we still got a number of players still to sign before that February 5th sign date in 2025. And Coach, what are we looking at between here and there? What are the positions of emphasis?
All of them. Yeah, we again, we lost a lot of good players. And we're going to replace them with good players. Now right now our focus is really going after the transfers that can report at midterm. We hope to add another 10 to 12 guys for that, as well as continuing to look at the high school guys that haven't signed for the February signing day. So in this day and age, you're recruiting for this upcoming class all the way up until August. And it's our job to kind of piece together and find the right pieces. And the big thing is when we recruit, we look for fit, and I challenge all the people that we recruit to make sure that that's what they're looking for as well, because when you have a good fit, you seem to be a lot more successful.
Yeah, not just good athletes, but Samford guys.
That's correct.
For sure. Well, now the off-season work begins as we look ahead to the 2025 campaign. And fans, we again want to thank you for your outstanding support in the 2024 season. You were tremendous showing up at the stadium each week and getting loud. And I hope that you will plan to tune in with us each week for another season next year of the Chris Hatcher Show. Coach, I wish you all the best this holiday season and this off season.
Well, I sure do appreciate it. Appreciate you each and every week being here for us. And again, to echo your sentiments, we appreciate the Samford community for supporting this team, and we look forward to putting a great product on the field next season.
For sure, and that'll do it for this season of the Chris Hatcher Show.